Hey YouTube, it's just Brandy and let's talk the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So this episode picked up where the previous one left off, and Sheree and Bob had just had the disagreement in the jewelry store, and he was laughing about the whole choking thing, and she walked off crying. So the group has kind of calmed down from all of the back and forth, it seems like. And it seems like everyone, by I guess it's maybe day 3, is kind of getting along, and they're going on a boat ride on a catamaran. So Bob and Sheree goes to a private area. I don't know if it's the back of the boat or whatever, but they go to a private area to kind of discuss, because he wants to discuss what happened, and he wants her to tell him, what he did wrong. And she's like, "You're a grown man, and if you don't know what you did, that's not something I can teach you. You really don't have any remorse for the things that you did." She made reference to a situation where he decided he was going to go to school in California, and he just picked up and left for 6 months. And she said, I think she said she had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old or something, and he just left and didn't say anything. So it seems like they had a lot of issues. They didn't really have any resolve. I guess when he decided he came back, she just took him back, and they didn't have any, she wasn't able to express her feelings about that. And so she was saying it's just still a whole bunch of things from the marriage that they never really got closure on. And she was hoping that at this point he would be mature enough that they might be able to have some of these conversations and really be able to move past it, because they could discuss it because it's kind of over with or whatever. But he's really not taking responsibility for some of the things. And then he got upset, and he was like, "What do you want me to do? Just bleed out? And do you want blood or whatever?" And so it seems like typical male response or whatever. You know it seems to me that when men are the ones that do things, they feel like it's broken record. You're constantly beating them up, this, that, and the third. But for women, it's just not so easy for us to just move on. Sometimes we need to discuss things. We need you to continue to show remorse for things. Even though you've said sorry once, maybe you need to say sorry again. And a lot of men are not willing to do that. They're not willing to, they don't want to be the bad guy over and over and over. They feel like that you're just harping on them. But as women, we don't look at it like that. It's more like, you want me back in your life. You should be happy, that I'm back in your life, but you should forever and always be sorry for the things that you did to me. It's not that, to me, it's not just a, I'm sorry today and we can never, you don't have to be sorry anymore. I'm supposed to just move past it. Like, no, because there are going to be things that bring that situation back up. Something else could happen, and then we may have to revisit that. And you as a man should be able to reassure me and say, I'm sorry that I hurt you in that situation. I mean, what's the problem, the harm in saying, constantly saying, I'm sorry for that situation. It's just a male thing. I think it's just a man brain versus women brain thing where we don't think alike. So Kenya decides, for some odd reason, that since Phaedra is there and Cynthia is there, and they both are recently divorced, that she should throw them a divorce party. I don't know why. I mean, her and Cynthia are kind of close, but her and Phaedra are kind of rekindling something, and I don't know, I guess they needed something to do. So after they come back from the boat, she tells the women, I have a surprise for you. So the guys can go off and do whatever they're going to do. And then the women, I want you to come back to my room. So when they get there, she has a cake, she has a sign, and she has all these little games, these penis games, which I thought that was for a bachelorette or something. I don't know. I didn't know that a divorce party was like a real thing that they actually had games and whatnot for. They played a game, Kiss the Thing, and I don't know where she got that from, and I don't even know why they was doing it, but weird. The cake was cute. It was like a wedding cake that was black and white that had a chain on it. But so the sign she had made said, "I do, I did, but I don't," or so, I don't know. So anyway, when the ladies get there, first Cynthia arrives, and Cynthia was like, "No, I'm not really feeling this, because number one, these women are still fresh in their divorce. It's still painful. I mean, she's there with Peter and they're getting along. I think it's more of a thing where I don't want to celebrate the divorce because I'm not happy that I'm getting divorced. I'm not happy that it didn't work out. It's unfortunate that it didn't, and I really still care about this person, and it's kind of disrespectful. Sheree may mention that she had had a divorce party, but at that time, she could not stand Bob. Her house had got foreclosed. Her car had got repossessed. He wasn't paying her alimony. He wasn't paying her child support. He wasn't involved in the kids. So she really could not stand him. So for her to have a divorce party, she was like, yes, I'm divorced. You know, she was happy. But Cynthia, you know, she didn't feel that way. You know, she's like, I want to remain friends with Peter. So why would she, you know, try to be like, oh, I'm so glad I'm divorcing him? I mean, obviously they're on a trip together and they're getting along great. So also it was Peter's birthday, and they had decided to do a roast, and that went over so terribly. That's not something that you could do at the last minute. Like, if you wanted to do a roast, what you should have did, I mean, like Little Duval, I think, is from Atlanta. You should have found a comedian to write some jokes for you about Peter, and then let the other people just say them instead of trying to get them to come up with jokes on their own, because everybody is just not naturally funny. Everybody's not a comedian. So they did that, and so back to the divorce party. So Cynthia was kind of like, you know, I'm really not feeling it, but I'll stay. So then when Phaedra comes, Phaedra was like, oh no, I want no parts of this because I believe in the sanctity of marriage. And you know, a lot of people that are super religious don't even really believe in divorce. Now, obviously she got one, so she did. But, you know, for people that's really, really churchy, they don't even believe in divorce. They believe that divorce is a sin. So, you know, she probably just don't want to be all out there with her mother and father being pastors. She probably don't want to be out there saying, oh yeah, you know, I'm divorced. Regardless of how she may feel, she probably does not want to portray that to the public. So she says she don't feel good and she wants to go back to her room. So she leaves, but she sends Portia a text, and Portia being a little messy, and I think the reason that Portia read her text, I don't think that Phaedra said, and you can read my text to everybody. I feel like Portia was like, oh, I'm involved in this whole thing with Candy and Shamia and the whole, you know, Candy lesbian thing. So I'm going to be messy and put you in some mess and read this text message. And her text message said, I can't believe that she had the audacity to throw me a divorce party when she was the one texting my husband. So Kenya got so pissed. She got so mad that she went to Phaedra's room to confront her, and they had it all out, and a whole bunch of old stuff that was supposed to have been dropped got brought back up. The whole text message thing and the whole you flirted with my husband thing and all of that. But they have all, like Kenya said, and I feel Kenya on this, we've already had a discussion about this. You already forgave me about this. We prayed and everything when they was in Africa. So they were supposed to have moved past this. Plus the fact that, remember, Apollo had said that Kenya was trying to get him to come to the hotel in LA and all that, and then it came out that he was lying. So she like, well, that was a lie, but I know for a fact that you was sending him text messages. And I believe she did admit that she was texting him, but I don't know if she was texting him regarding the whole exercise video, when at one time they was going to work with her on the production of the exercise video that him and Phaedra was doing, that she ended up doing with Todd, or what. I don't know what the text messages said, but what's to say that, you know, the whole cast does not text each other? I mean, I don't necessarily think that people should be texting people's husbands, but I don't know what they do, you know, in Atlanta, being castmates that have to work, that has to film. So, you know, I don't know what the situation was. But she brought all of that up as to say, well, you couldn't be throwing me this party because I think you might have wanted my husband. But it's like, if you felt this way and you still was mad about that, why did you invite me to Michigan? Why, you know, has everything been cool? Because that's to me saying, okay, You don't fool with Kenya. You feel like I know what type of person she is. Okay, we work together for the Housewives thing, but I'm going to leave it at that. But it seemed like you was trying to get to know her, because when she was saying in Michigan, Kenya was like, I have my friend back. We was never friends. And if, you know, I don't understand these women. So I don't know. I don't know why she got all in her feelings about the whole party thing. She should have just went with the whole I wasn't feeling good. But when she sent that text, that really just put it all out there. But she wasn't mad at Portia, because Portia came right to her room and told her, I read your text to everybody. So there was no secret that she read the text. She told everybody that she read it. It was not a issue. So I know on all the blogs, the big hoopla is they just filmed a reunion the other day, and Todd has made a comment that Portia slept with Apollo. So I cannot wait to see the reunion. I hope that does not get cut out, and I want to see what Phaedra has to say, because if Phaedra says I don't know and who knows, how can you be best friends with, how can it be freaking frack if she slept with your husband and this was while y'all were married, because you didn't get divorced till after he went to jail, and this is supposed to happen prior to him going to jail, maybe when y'all were separated, but this is not something that happened prior to y'all being on the show. So let's see what this is all about and what is all going to come from this. But that is my recap and my thoughts on this last episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next week.